Imagine you are in the middle of a sentence. You are articulating a thought that matters to you, not just idle chatter, but a reflection of your internal logic. Perhaps you are at a crowded dinner table, a high-stakes business meeting, or a gathering of friends where the air is thick with opinions. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the air like a dull blade. Someone has stepped over your words, hijacking the flow of the conversation and forcing your voice into the shadows of the background. In that precise microsecond, a biological switch flips inside you. Your pulse quickens, heat rises to your face. Your pupils dilate. The instinct is primal, ancient and aggressive. Fight back. The average person, governed by impulse, battles for airtime. They raise their pitch. They speak faster and louder to drown out the intruder. They fight noise with more noise. But in doing so, they have already lost. By competing, you look desperate. You look insecure. You have allowed an external event, someone else's lack of manners, to disrupt your internal order. You have handed them the remote control to your emotions. The Stoic does not fight noise with noise. The Stoic enters the void. Today we are going to deconstruct the art of handling interruptions, not through the weakness of aggression, but through the supreme power of silence and selected high-gravity speech. We will look at why reaction is surrender and how pausing is actually the ultimate form of social domination. We will explore the ancient wisdom of Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, and Epictetus, the slave-turned-teacher, to reclaim your inherent dignity. By the end of this deep exploration, you will possess not only the smart phrases but the internal psychological framework to ensure that when others lose control of their tongues, you remain the sovereign master of your soul. To understand how to stop someone from talking over you, we must first map the landscape of the interaction. This is what we call the binary frame. On one side, you have the insecure interrupter. This person is volatile. They are terrified of silence. To them, a pause in conversation is a vacuum, a terrifying abyss that must be filled immediately with the projection of their own ego. They interrupt not because they are strong, but because they are frantic for validation. They mistakenly believe that domination of the conversation equates to domination of the room. They are slaves to their own impulses. On the other side, we have the Stoic archetype, the observer. The observer is unmoved, like a mountain ignoring the chatter of birds. The observer understands that true power does not scream, it whispers, or better yet, it waits. When you are interrupted, the trap is to believe that you have been defeated. You feel that by stopping your speech you have submitted to their alpha display. We need to reframe this immediately. Stopping is not submission. It is a tactical trap. This is the birth of weaponized silence. Consider the dynamics of a spotlight. When you are speaking, the spotlight of the room's collective attention is on you. When someone interrupts, they are desperately trying to grab that light. If you fight them, the two of you are wrestling in the mud for the flashlight, and the audience sees only chaos and weakness. But if you immediately stop, if you cut your sentence off with razor-sharp precision the very millisecond they begin to speak, you do something counterintuitive. You hand them the spotlight entirely, but you do it while they are stumbling. You leave them standing alone in the center of the room with their own rudeness. You force them to fill the awkward, silent space alone. This is the essence of dignity. As Zeno of Citium famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." Zeno was not telling us to be passive doormats. He was reminding us that the ability to wield silence is a sign of superior character. The greatest minds in history viewed the compulsion to speak as a flaw, a leak in one's self-control. Therefore, when you are interrupted, you must view the interrupter not as a threat, but as a cautionary tale of a lack of temperance. Before we dive into the specific phrases, we must establish the emotional logic bridge. Why are you using these techniques? If your goal is simply to win an argument or humiliate the other person, you have already lost your Stoic footing. You are still enslaved by your ego, just in a quieter way. The goal of these phrases is not to crush the other person. It is to protect your inner sanctuary. Epictetus taught us that we cannot control what others do, only how we perceive and react to it. If you use these phrases to snap back or be petty, you are letting their lack of emotional control dictate your state of mind. Instead, say to yourself, I will master my tongue so that I remain the master of my soul. When you refuse to be rattled, you win a victory far greater than the argument itself. You win the victory of composure. You prove that your internal peace is not for sale. With that foundation of stillness and authority, let us examine the 6 specific phrases and nonverbal cues that stop an interrupter in their tracks. Rule 1. The benevolent yield. Phrase, I noticed you have something to say. Go ahead, I will wait. This phrase is devastatingly effective because it utilizes the binary frame. The interrupter expects resistance. They are prepared for a shouting match. When you immediately stop and verbally roll out the red carpet for them, you remove the tension they were pushing against. You are effectively saying, I am so secure in my position and my value that I can afford to let you speak. Notice the vocabulary here. It is measured. It is polite. But the subtext is heavy with authority. By saying, I will wait, you are implying 2 things. First, that the conversation cannot proceed until they have finished their outburst. And second, that you will return to your point eventually. You are positioning yourself as the adult in the room waiting for the child to finish their tantrum. You maintain your dignity by refusing to compete for the floor. You are not yielding because you are weak. You are yielding because you are the host of the interaction. Rule 2. The contract of justice. Phrase, please finish your thought, then I will finish mine. This approach appeals to the concept of justice and fairness, which are central Stoic virtues. This phrase is not aggressive, but it is firm. It highlights the disruption without being emotional about it. When you are interrupted, you do not keep talking. You pause, look the interrupter in the eye with total stillness, no blinking, no twitching, and deliver this line with a neutral tone. This establishes a social contract. You are granting them permission to speak, but you are also booking your time slot for immediately after. It signals to everyone listening that you have not forgotten your point, and you do not intend to let the thought die. It frames the interrupter's behavior as disorderly, and your behavior as structured and logical. You are the architect of the conversation's order. Rule 3. The sovereign second. Weaponized silence. The technique, total, unrelenting silence. Sometimes the smartest phrase is no phrase at all. This is the ultimate application of Stoic stillness. When the interrupter cuts in, you stop instantly, mid-word if necessary. You do not sigh. You do not roll your eyes. You do not look away in annoyance. You look directly at them with a neutral, unmoved expression. You wait. You let them talk. Eventually, the interrupter will sense the lack of friction. They will feel the weight of your silence pressing against them. They will likely stumble, ramble, or trail off because they are looking for a reaction, anger, annoyance, or submission. When you give them nothing but a mirror reflecting their own volatility, they become unsettled. Once they finally trail off, you wait 1 extra second, a sovereign second of pure quiet, and then you say, as I was saying. You pick up your sentence exactly where you left off, as if the interruption never happened. You treat their outburst like a passing cloud that momentarily obscured the sun, but did not change its course. This demonstrates ultimate temperance. Rule 4. The rational speed bump. Phrase, I want to hear your point, but are you interrupting because you feel I'm finished, or because you don't want to hear what I have to say? This is a higher intensity response reserved for repeat offenders. It requires a tone of genuine curiosity, not sarcasm. A Stoic does not deal in sarcasm. They deal in truth. By asking this question, you force the interrupter to examine their own vibration. You are bringing the subconscious dynamic into the conscious realm. Most people interrupt on autopilot. They are driven by an impulsive need to be heard. This question acts as a speed bump. It forces them to engage their rational mind and admit that they are breaking the social contract. Usually they will retreat and say, no, I thought you were done. Please continue. You have reclaimed your authority without ever raising your voice. Rule 5. The command of the remote. Phrase, I'm going to pause you there for a second. I wasn't quite done. There is a persistent and deeply flawed misconception that Stoicism is a passive philosophy, that it's a manual for becoming a doormat and letting the world walk over you in the name of peace. This could not be further from the truth. Stoicism is an active, vigorous engagement with reality. It is about maintaining internal order, and sometimes maintaining that order requires you to set an external boundary with absolute ironclad resolve. When someone attempts to bulldoze your thoughts with aggressive speech, they are attempting to colonize your mental space. You must hold the line. You do this not by shouting, but by using a calm, low-frequency voice that resonates with the weight of a judge passing a verdict. The power of this specific phrase lies in the word pause. It is a psychological masterstroke. It implies that you are the one holding the remote, control to the entire interaction. You aren't asking for permission to continue. You are temporarily halting the flow of their intrusion to complete your mission. By stating, I wasn't quite done, you are delivering a cold, hard report of reality. Think about the difference in frequency. The average person reacts to an interruption with a high-pitched, emotional whine. Hey, I wasn't done yet! This sounds like a plea for mercy. It sounds like a victim crying out against an oppressor. The Stoic, however, delivers the line with a flat, downward inflection. No upward lilt, no question marks, no heat. It is a statement of gravity, as undeniable as the law of physics. This signals to everyone in the room, and most importantly, to yourself, that you value your own words and your own logic, enough to protect them from being trampled. You are declaring that your voice is a sovereign territory that cannot be invaded without a direct, composed response. Rule 6. The mirror of passion. Phrase, you seem very passionate about this. Why don't you start and I will follow? This is a sophisticated variation of the benevolent yield, but it introduces a powerful layer of psychological mirroring. In the world of the Stoics, the greatest failure a human can commit is to allow pathos, unbridled, irrational emotion to override logos or reason. By labeling the interrupter's behavior as passionate or eager, you are not being complimentary. You are, in a very polite and understated way, framing their behavior as an excess of emotion and a lack of self-discipline. When you kindly point out their passion, you are subtly highlighting their lack of self-control. You are positioning yourself as the generous, composed listener, the sage who can afford to wait. You are essentially stepping out of the arena while they are panting and sweating, trying to fight for scraps of attention. You have retreated to the high ground of the observer. This creates a fascinating psychological phenomenon. Often, when you give an interrupter full, unrestricted permission to speak, they suddenly find they have very little of substance to say. The thrill of the interruption is almost always fueled by the resistance you provide. When they have nothing to push against, their momentum collapses. They are forced to stand alone with their thoughts. And without the fuel of a shouting match, they often realize how little they actually had to contribute. You haven't just stopped them from talking over you. You have forced them to confront their own volatility while you remain the unshakable pillar of the conversation. Now let us integrate this into the fabric of your daily life. The next time you are interrupted, and it will happen, likely today, feel the vibration in your body. Feel the insecure interrupter archetype rising within you, wanting to fight, wanting to shout, wanting to win. Recognize that feeling, acknowledge it, then let it go. Step into the emotional logic bridge. Remind yourself, I am not here to win a shouting match. I am here to maintain my dignity. Choose your response. Will you use weaponized silence? Will you use the benevolent yield? Whatever you choose, deliver it with the weight of the ancients. Deliver it with the knowledge that Zeno and Epictetus stood in the face of emperors and slave drivers alike, maintaining their composure, because they knew their worth was not determined by who spoke loudest. When you refuse to battle for airtime, you become a magnet. People naturally listen to the person who speaks least, but speaks with the most weight. By stopping when interrupted, you are not fading away. You are waiting for the noise to subside so the truth can be heard. The world is full of noise. It is full of people terrified of the void, filling every second with empty chatter to distract themselves from the weight of their own thoughts. Do not join them. Be the contrast. Be the stillness in the center of the storm. Remember, the goal is not just to stop them from talking over you. The goal is to ensure that even when the world is loud, you remain unmoved. That is the Stoic way. That is the path of real power. As you move through your week, try these phrases. Observe the results not only in others but in yourself. You will find that when you respect your own silence, the world begins to respect your speech. If you found value in this reflection, and if you wish to join a community dedicated to the pursuit of wisdom, temperance, and the unshakable mind, subscribe and turn on your notifications. Leave a comment below with the word composure to signal that you have reached the end of this journey and that you are committed to mastering your tongue. Stand tall, remain sovereign, and let your silence speak as loudly as your words. To master the art of conversation, we must look deeper into the psychology of why humans talk over one another. It isn't always malice. Often it is a lack of prosoche, or Stoic mindfulness. 1. The anxiety of the gap. Most people suffer from horror vacui, a fear of empty space. In a conversation, a pause of even 2 seconds feels like an eternity of awkwardness. The interrupter jumps in because their nervous system is trying to soothe itself. By remaining silent, you are showing that you have outgrown this social anxiety. You are comfortable in the void. 2. The search for status. Social hierarchies are often built on who controls the narrative. In a primitive sense, the person speaking the most is perceived as the leader of the pack. However, Stoicism teaches us that true status comes from arete, or excellence of character. A person who speaks less but speaks with profound clarity has a higher arete than a chatterbox who cannot control their impulses. Free the impulse to correct. We often interrupt because we hear something we disagree with and feel an urgent, burning need to correct the record. Marcus Aurelius warned against this. He taught that people act according to what they believe is right. If they are wrong, they are the ones being harmed by their own ignorance. Why should you lose your peace of mind to correct a minor point in a fleeting conversation? The Stoic exercise, the vow of the listeners. This week I challenge you to a Stoic experiment. In every conversation you have, make it your goal to be the last person to speak. Let the other person finish every thought, even if they pause for a long time. See if you can go an entire day without interrupting a single person, not even to agree with them. You will notice 2 things. First, you will notice how often people interrupt you. It will be eye-opening. Second, you will notice that people start to tell you more. Because you aren't rushing to fill the space, they will fill it with deeper truths, hidden emotions, and valuable information. By speaking less, you learn more. The anatomy of the voice. When you do use one of the 6 phrases mentioned earlier, the way you say it is as important as the words themselves. The frequency. Use a lower register. High-pitched voices are associated with excitement and anxiety. Deep chest tones are associated with authority and calm. The tempo. Speak slower than the interrupter. If they are speaking at 150 words per minute, you speak at 90. This creates a gravity. Well, that pulls the conversation back to a manageable speed. The eye contact. Maintain soft focus eye contact. Do not glare, as that is a sign of anger. Do not look away, as that is a sign of submission. Look at them with the calm, detached interest of a scientist observing a phenomenon. The legacy of the silent sage. History remembers the quiet ones. Consider the image of Socrates, who would stand in the marketplace and listen, asking only short, piercing questions that dismantled the egos of the loudest men in Athens. Consider the Stoic Cato the Younger, who was known for his long silences in the Roman Senate, such that when he finally did stand to speak, the entire room fell into a deathly hush because they knew his words would be heavy with truth. You are training yourself to be that person. You are training yourself to be the still point in a spinning world. The next time someone cuts you off, do not see it as an insult. See it as an opportunity to practice. Rule number 3. Stop, look, wait. Reclaim the floor with the phrase, as I was saying. You are not fighting for attention. You are demonstrating that you are the only one in the room who truly possesses it. Stay sovereign. Stay stoic.